Welcome back to the EDC, the Everyday Carry. I'm Sam. Today I'm going to go over my little emergency kit or survival kit, however you want to, whatever you think it might be. It could be either one. It is in a Seresto tin. That's what I use on my dog, which is an awesome piece of collar. It really works and it's very effective. First, I'm going to start off with the black duct tape. I have it on here to help seal it shut, help keep it waterproof, and we're going to open this up. It also acts another piece of cordage. You can break this down and you can use it for cordage, and it is flammable. Well, we'll start off with the lid. Now, it is a dull color, but you can still shine it. You can see it reflecting off the light of my little camera. You can also use it as an emergency pan if you need to cook something on the fly in an emergency situation. If this is all you have, you can use it for that. Just some instructions on the collar. In here, first off, I have some emergency, just some soup, some instant soup packets. I have some coffee, which is caffeine free, a little bit more chicken broth, and some beef broth. Now here is a signaling device. You can see it reflecting. It's just a heliograph. It has a hole here which you can you place your eye on here. You aim it at the light like so, and you can you make a little signal for signaling. I have a little bit of alcohol white pad, which is good for disinfecting cuts, but most of all, you can use this to actually start a fire. You have a few seconds on here if you need to get a quick fire going. It will burn. It's very fast, but it will work. Right in here, I have a variety of fishing hooks. There's inside here I have flies, a variety of hooks of all different sizes. If you are out there, you can catch fish. You can also use this to catch birds. You put a nice little string on here. You can put some worms on there. They catch it, and supposedly you can catch a bird with that. In here is the classic cotton ball with Vaseline. It gives you an additional, I think, maybe 5 or 10 minutes of burn time. So if you have enough tinder, real light, like feather sticks, stuff like that, real light stuff, or a bird's nest, this will help you get a fire going on a fly. I have in here some Coleman water purification tablets. Excuse me. One's the actual tablet and one's a PA Plus to help purify the water, which it works pretty good. In here, this is just a basic military tripwire. You can use it for basically whatever you want. Mostly people would use this for snares, making snares. There's a lot of wire on here. It's a decent gauge. I'm not exactly sure what the gauge of this wire is, but I got it real cheap for like $2 at the surplus store. Couldn't pass it up. You have different, like 4 wires on here all wrapped up. You couldn't beat it. So, instead of having just 20 foot of like 20 gauge wire, I have like 4 rolls of it all on one spindle. You can use it for making snares, or you can hang a pot for cooking, or you just want to hang something up. You can use it for that. Many uses for this. In here, what we have is pretty much it's waterproof, windproof, strike anywhere match. For an emergency, if you got to get a fire going, your fire steel's not working, or you'll lose it, and you have this, your lighter's not working. This is supposed to work for you. In here is the classic, basic mag bar with the fire steel right here. You don't get a real whole lot of it, but as an emergency kit, that's why this is compact. You scrape off the magnesium as much as you need, and you strike it with the striker, which throws a lot of sparks. You know, you got your little half saw blade, which acts as a small saw if you need to saw something down. This will do a violent sparks and everything with the magnesium, which you can see I've used it before. And then I also carry, I think it's maybe 30 to 50 feet of fishing line, which works great with the hooks. You can use it for sewing. There's a million things you can use this fishing line for. And I also carry a really heavy duty needle. It's tipped, bent tip here, different size. It's like almost like a sailing needle. It has a big eyelet. You can use it for stitching. You need to dig out thorns, something that's stuck in you. You need to pry a hole. Anything you can use that for. I also have a saw in here. It's not the best saw in the world, which I already broke the one hook on here because I did use it. I did need it in a situation I was in a few years back. This kit actually came in handy. I'm glad I had it. But this saw still works. Just because that's gone, it don't mean anything. You can make it toggle. It's not a real big deal. I also have a secondary needle in here. It's a little bit smaller. Also, I always try to keep needles with a big eyelet on here so you don't have to really fuss trying to get some type of string through it so you can do some stitching. I don't know how many times I've gone out camping, hiking, and I split my pants. I mean, it happens. It really does, and you have to stitch it up because you don't have a spare pair. I always keep a candle. As you can see, it is pretty worn out. I use it a lot. I really haven't burned it, but it makes a great lubricant for your zippers, your buttons. If you have those big heavy steel buttons, those brass buttons, like I have a military bivy sack and it's cold outside, you take this candle and you can wrap it around, you just twist it on those buttons, and it helps it lubricate and snap on and off. Same thing with the zipper. If you have those big heavy brass zippers, you just rub this up and down on the zipper. It works great. For emergency fire, if you have a lighter and you don't want to waste any of these products here, you do have this candle. These candles burn for a very long time. You can just light this up, you can set it down, you can go about your business, because the last thing you want to do in a survival situation or any type of emergency situation is sitting there trying to be a Boy Scout and sitting there with your bow drill, or you're sitting there trying to make a fire in a primitive way, which this would just make it easier. It's more comfortable. It would just get it going, and you have to have some Tums. You can also use the charcoal that's left over from your fire, but if you don't have that going yet and it's really killing you, just throw some Tums in there. Not everybody does. I just throw this in there as an emergency. You never know. This might be the only thing that you have with you at the time. You know, all that does come in handy. I apologize for part of my tripod getting into the camera here. But other than that, that is all I have. I really thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. And thanks for watching. Have a nice day.